Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Duffers Review, 19th hole. This is where Duffers come together and we talk about this week, what is happening this week in golf. Anything golf related. We talk about anything from reviews, where we're going to be playing next, the golf courses that we're reviewing that are coming up down the pipeline. It is July 21st, Friday, 4:30 as always, here in the 19th hole. Cheers up. It's going to be water. I got to go to an event after this today, so I'm not going to be partying out just here afterwards. So let's get started. Duffers review, 19th hole. All right. This week, obviously, it's major week, right? We're going to talk about it. Talk about the Open, right? We're going overseas, and the British Open, which is also called the Open Championship. And there's a ton of different kind of like topics along just on this alone. Just why they, this one's considered called the Open, or why they call it the British Open. But it's the final major of the year, essentially for the tour before we go into the FedEx Cup. Now, here's the exciting thing for me this week when it comes to um, the Open. There's a lot of controversy going around, on the course, and we've been talking about it week over week, essentially on different tournaments coming in and scores just running away, just being able to run away, with the scores, and it's this week is definitely they're seeing what a major championship is about. And for me, this is one of the big, kind of like as we watch golf week after week, and you watch some of these tournaments, and the battle of, two tournaments or two tours, excuse me, essentially happening with Live Golf and the PGA Tour. A lot of the places they're playing to accommodate, the what I feel like is, hey, we need to make the PGA Tour players look 10 times more elite, scores of 21 under, 26 under, winning tournaments, against what the live, players are putting up and playing in their, on their tour. I think it's a huge kind of like I don't want to say disadvantage or just concern. It's kind of you're skewing what we want to see in professional golfers. They should be playing at some of the toughest tracks, and they should be playing at that elite level as they're being carried to, as golfers at every last one of them. So being able to walk in and shoot a 26 in a tournament, I don't think that course was set up that difficult. Now, no one's saying that this course here, this week, in the Open, is set up easy. I think it's just the opposite. Right now, everyone is, basically calling, the par three, 17th, 136-yard par three, one of the most brutal and insane holes they're seeing. Thumb stamp of a putting green, elevated, turtle shell, type of landing area, skews out towards the water, tons of bunkers, around, and we've seen some so far, in 2 days, we've seen some major moves, coming off of this particular hole. Specifically, I think yesterday's uh, golfer, I don't want to mess up the gentleman's name, Hubert, ended up taking a six on a par three. Like that's some Duffer move right there. Like that's a Duffer golf, if I've ever seen it. So it's definitely it's just taking victims, it's taking names, right? So to be able to put up like this, and he even said it coming off, like, hey, mistakes are gonna be made. And in the argument of this whole, a lot of different players were asked. Hendricks Stenson, I'm all for par three, but this one is overdone, right? Somebody else who was quoted here: the green is so elevated that you have to get the ball up there first. But if it's windy and you hit a low one, it's going to go long and is a strong possibility. I think my favorite quote, essentially of the week, was from Rom. It was one of the best political quotes. It was kind of like, in short, it was devastating but it's devastating for all. So he was playing it as fair. He goes, no one's going to come in and play this hole, and say that it's super easy to where others are going to play it. It's really hard. So the design of the 17th hole here has been just a constant, conversation piece, so far in the tournament. So I like seeing this. I love seeing the dramatic. I love seeing the aspect of professionals coming in and overthinking a hole, looking at the win, completely judging everything out. It makes every duffer out there when we play and we think that we're right on. We're playing for that sawbuck, and you want to get that KP, and you're overstressing everything out. Well, this hole's definitely making the pros feel it and understand that what it was like to be a duffer back in the day. So it's fun to watch. Can't absolutely wait to see this. Now, the other thing that I thought took as a great note, um, Royal Liverpool has 81 um, sandy hazards. This is, and it's not just a lot of courses have sand, right? But this are 81 like sand traps or hazards that are directly in play to almost every shot on the course. From layup zones to your drives to just covering almost every green. You miss, they're making you work for it, and they're not easy bunkers by any means. I was looking at this would be such one of those things to say, oh, I put this in my arsenal to be able to go play that. I'd love to go review it for you guys. But I don't think I'm coming out of that course under 100. And that's tough for me to say because I'm a huge competitor and I love the Sanders. But what I'm watching the gentlemen out there doing this week, it's absolutely insane how some of these bunkers are set up. So I'm very, very happy to see it. I love to see that it's an absolutely challenging course, going out there. But again, the bunkers, beware of them. So this was cool because this is also one during the warm up uh, of the round or the playing two, watching all week, right? As a duffer, I get to watch, from Monday through all the practice rounds, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. This was actually a very interesting story as it's playing out right in front of us this week. They were multiple different times that watching the behind the scenes or online here. Jordan, Justin, Ricky, McElroy, we're seeing at the range joking and having it off, talking about how they're going to have a strategy today. Ricky and out there putting really well, doing some birdies on a few holes that they were willing to show, and then you kicked it off. Thursday was a rude awakening for everybody. For one particular golfer the most, Justin Thomas. JT, my heart goes out to you. I mean, plus 11, on Thursday. Then this should turn around and shoot even today. At least you got some structure, back together. But what was really unique in this was the storyline for this year kind of changes a bit because JT is in fight for the Ryder Cup. This was unique because JT took to Twitter and talked about it a little bit. He goes, and one of his quotes was, he goes, "I'm just hoping that I can finish this year out strong, and my record speaks for itself, and I can help bring the cup home." Now, this was probably one of the most unique. How do you would say this? This is probably one of the most unique aspects of people coming in to comment on this. One of the comments, JT, is where Brooksy was in the Netflix documentary, right? So you saw us do the full, we broke it apart. We broke down every little season of the documentary, full swing. In Brooksy's particular episode, it was how he was on a downward slide. He was in the slump. He was in the slump that Ricky he just fought his way out of, right? Just everything not firing right. Too much, I think, tinkering with, your game and confidence. He's in a downward slide, but he's still voting and or trying to vie for a Ryder Cup position. And looking at the reviews, essentially, from all the Duffers and stuff out there, because we all know our 2 cents is the most important 2 cents of it all, right? Is, very, very 50-50, let them play. We have one here. Ryder Cup has always been a popularity contest. It's why, Jude Seaman just says he doesn't watch it. I think it's not. I agree. It is definitely a popularity contest, but it's a popularity contest based on the best players at that time. You're building your squad. I want to bring the best of the best, and or who's firing right now, who can go in and fire off in it. And a lot of this also, where I think a lot of people, don't look at in perspective, is it's looking how the two teams are being stacked up, knowing who the captains are kind of picking or who have made the cut for it, and know who you can play against it. I think one of the best mental games the Ryder Cup has is who you stack up against certain players. Again, in full swing, this is one of those where you had Ian Poulter. He's a Ryder Cup, almost guarantee. Don't know how it's going to play out this year, but that was one of those that he would go in and he's got one of the best records, standing against, for the Ryder Cup. So a lot of this is, I feel like JT's trying to say, hey, playing with, a partner is going to calm me down. I'm going to play a little bit more relaxed. I think a lot of people are also looking at this and going, dude, you're not playing well enough. And there are a lot of other people that are playing well, above, a line, I would say, to be a member of the Ryder Cup, team. So he didn't make the cut this week. So this is kind of one of those. I felt like his battle would have maybe been won in his favor, and he at least made it. Didn't miss the cut and could have at least played, into the weekend. My vote's out. Unfortunately, you're on a downward slide. And after you miss one of the the cut, one of the majors, that's kind of like your last chance to tap dance, to show that I'm here to make the cut. It's your final callback, right? So this is kind of one of those in a popularity contest. If he does, great. Great. I think one of the ones I saw, it was, hey, be a bigger man. Instead of sitting here and saying that you possibly could win it, you're on a downward slide, you would have been better off saying, hey, don't pick me because I'm not 100% in this. Pick me because I've won so much stuff in the past and I can possibly show up and play. I don't know if that's really the that lens on that popularity, contest, perspective. I don't know, that one's just not for me, I guess you would say. However, I'm back on over to the Open. Brian Harman, all right, he's showing that he can play this course. He's 10 under going into moving day. But I think the crowd favorite right now, where everyone's picking, and at least from what I'm seeing in social, is Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood is, I think, the fan favorite, playing in this one here. A lot of names, I can be honest, to say I don't know much of these guys, but this is especially unique, especially yesterday's amateur, kicking off on this. And unfortunately, he was 5 under, going into today, and he went +8. He's still in it. So this is kind of one of those, he stayed to the weekend. Hopefully he lets the nerves or whatever, caused that 8 strokes today to fight back out of and finish strong, from an amateur standpoint. What I'm liking though is you got a +10. It's a great gap. He's got a 5-stroke lead going into, tomorrow. But with hole 17 and that par 5 18th, I still think it's almost anybody's chances. I mean, it's that the numbers have moved so drastically in each day, that I still think it's a full open race. I don't think this is a runaway for Harman in any way. But let's look at. This is kind of tough because my picks for the week are. I was literally looking for McIlroy and Spieth is where I was putting the pressure on for a winner this week. Those were my 2 kind of horses in the race for this week. I didn't think Fowler was going to. He's not a real big links player, so I thought he's I think he went and peaked where he needed to peak. He got the win. I think he's going to focus on the FedEx Cup. That was where I'm going to put some, wagers in the bank in that perspective there. So that's going to be a very, very unique and interesting one there. So that's pretty much what I have on the open. Into other news, let's shift gears here. So on from the Opens brokerage, I'm excited to see it where the rest of the week goes, for the Open. But Team Duffers is getting ready to. We're heading out to do some summer golf tips and tricks. So I've got a tip coming up. We just finished shooting today. Great shout out to my camera crew for helping me out in that one. Much love. But at the same time, it is going to Puerto Rico. It's my next stop. I actually take off quite early in the morning. I wanted to make sure I got my live podcast in today with you guys. I'm heading out to Puerto Rico tomorrow to visit family. But at the same time, with travel, golf clubs will come with you. So I've been working on 3 different particular courses that I've done a little bit of research on. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit here, just to give you guys an insight of what we're going to be reviewing when we head down to the course here. So I'm going to add this one here. We're going to talk about Costa Carabree, Golf Carabree. This is where right now I think my wife and all my friends are killing me is being part Puerto Rican. I can't pronounce anything. Costa Carabree Golf and Country Club. This one is one of the first ones on the list. This is at the island's signature hole is one of the first island greens on an island. So this one is kind of one of those that I'm really excited to go play. It is it's a seaside, golf course, 27-hole championship golf course featuring link style layout. They're saying it's in immaculate course conditions, oceanfront views, and it's got Puerto Rico's first island green. Here's what I like about that. I'm going to be the judge of that. But I also thought in doing the research on the courses down there in Puerto Rico, this is a link style course. The Open kind of had to put them back to back, right? Just kind of had to put them back to back. The location of this one is the southern side of the island. So it's supposed to have a less wind and a less wind factor in this particular course. As you can see here, I think it's going to be great. As I'm pointing out over here on this photo. What's unique that you can see here, as this is the island green they're talking about, you get the drive over and parking on the other side, hitting a crossover, and so it's on a separate island for 3. But the views, because this is a full coastal landscape, it states that you get beachfront kind of views all throughout the course. So I'm really excited to kind of put this one under my belt down for vacation golf. Some of the other aspects we're going to do, we're definitely going to go do all the sightseeing and tourism stuff right here, where you should go play, some areas you want to stay in. By playing these 3 different areas of the island as well is going to allow me to give you some insight on that. Now, here's a unique one. And the reason I'm picking this one is because my sister down there used to work down there on the base as well, but being a 10-year enlisted, United States Marine Corps veteran, I get to go on and play for ridiculously cheap. So this is definitely our beer course option, and this is going to be the Fort Buchanan golf course. This is what's great about this one. It's got a varied layout and keeps everything interesting from golfers of all skill levels. All right, this course was first maintained in accordance with the established standards of the United States Golf Association. So they've managed to maintain this course. All right. What's unique, it's a 9-hole course with dual tees, so it offers an 18-hole round of around 6,300 yards with a rating of 72 and a slope of 128. Unless you're a super duper golfer, the rating slope, something like that. We'll get into that in another episode. Who knows? But here's what's cool. It's on base. So my goal here is to go out and play with a bunch of vets and do a really, really good showcase out here at the Fort Buchanan golf course. Really excited to get out here and do this one, and hopefully get a chance to talk to a bunch of the either currently enlisted station vets or veterans that play this course. Retirees is a big spot for a lot of retirees down here. It is Puerto Rico, right? So this is definitely going to be our beer rating course. So the advantage of being a veteran is we get to play, at veteran rates. But it's also, if you go to their site, it's got multiple different ways to make your reservations if you're visiting down the island. Last but not least, my goal is to get the in-between course. The in-between course, which I think is going to be Punta Boriquin Golf Club, is this one has got a unique history to it. And this is the other reason why I chose this one, because I'm hoping that we can maybe get some of the veterans or something to come play with, Duffers over here at this one as well. Because this one was a World War II United States Army Open air base in 1939. The base has closed down. It was also a favorite of President Eisenhower when it was built. The course was built in 1940. So this one is set off of a cliffside, and it's par 72. It offers sweeping views of the point, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Caribbean Sea. So the way this peak and points come together, you get to see this, and it's also states a view with those two, with the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. It's supposed to have one of those where you see the definitive line of the two seas meeting. So it's very, very unique in that. The 1973, the military base closed. The golf course became the first public course in Puerto Rico, with one of the most spectacular sunsets and ocean views in the area. So our goal for this course here was just chatting with my brother and stuff, is we're going to try and go out and play this one as a twilight round to finish around sunset, and then at the same time meet up with my father and stuff, and do like a big dinner and something around this particular area. So I'm really excited for this one, to be able to check out this and take in everything that Punta Boriquin talks about for this particular course. So I'll have all three ratings in place for this trip. I will have my beer rating course, I will have my mixed drinks, and definitely our premium. So with that being said, that is our Puerto Rico vacation golf plans, coming down the pipeline here for you, literally starting tomorrow. I have a 14-day trek across the from Arizona to Puerto Rico. Now, look at this. Jason, love it. Man, you're in the house again. I love it. I hope you saw my post earlier today in the stories, and shot you out a message. I appreciate you, jumping in here. And I hope you get to go check out some of these, take a vacation, and go check out some of these courses. The Duffers challenge and battle this year is going to be ending in North Carolina. That's when we take on the Pick'em Pros for our rivalry and establishment of taking over the Duffers belt. They threw their hat in the ring, and that's going to be an ultimate 2-day event there with some great, awesome stuff there as well. Now, last but not least, the next week, which I will be doing live from Puerto Rico. So this one's going to be really, really fun for me. Next week, we're going to get in with my buddy Greg, and we're going to be talking about Pinehurst's 6 deep dive into their trip. And we're going to talk a little bit more as we bring this together, because, the Duffers are working on some stuff as well behind the scenes as far as trips and events. That's why we're talking about vacation golf, and we're talking about this is bringing in the concept of being able to do this. But Greg and the team are going to be on, and they're going to go deep dive into their tournament. They're going to talk about the Mink. I still don't know what this is, and I'm really excited to find out about this, what the Mink is. And they're going to give you their insight of what it is, to do a guy's trip, and talk about the different ways that they play on the course. So this is a really exciting one. I'm looking forward to next week. In that perspective of being able to go in and talk about, guys trips, the different tournament type of settings, and how you bring those challenges, to the course. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's my subject matter for the week. I appreciate you guys dropping in on Duffers View, the 19th hole, where we talk about tips, events, everything that's happening in golf, reviewing everything and stuff that's happening in golf. Please check out my channel over on YouTube as well. Check out courses that we reviewed. Let me know where you want me to come out and review with you. All right. quit it, dropping your names in the chat, just like Jason sent him out. He won the challenge for coming back in week over week. Sent him out some swag from the Duffers. Next up, we're waiting for him to let us know what course he wants to go out and play, and we're going to go out and camera up and review the courses, in your neck of the woods. Again, appreciate you guys. Talk to you guys again next week live in what do you call it? In on location in Puerto Rico next week, 4:30 Pacific Standard, as always. I'm out. Thank you. I think I'm out. I'm lying. Can't find the mouse. Now I'm out.